All right, so if you're like me, there's probably three things that you really like: reading books, random tech, and like not spending money. And you may or may not have a bad relationship with technology and you want to try to find a fix for that, which of course this will not like fix it all for you, but it can help you on that journey. And even if you don't like reading books, you at least like being entertained, right? Having like your dopamine receptors set off and everything. Cool, I've got something for you. I'm not gonna waste your time, I'm just gonna show it to you right now. A cheap e-reader. Wow. And like seriously, even if you don't read books already, like just please hear me out. Like this device right here, for the little that I paid for it, has legitimately changed my life. Just hear me out. I got this for ridiculously cheap. If I check what I got it for again, I got it for $24.30, and that's with shipping and tax. All in all, I paid $16 for this. That was the actual price of this device. Of course, a little bit with shipping and tax because I bought on eBay where, there's gonna have to be that cost added onto it. It's not like Amazon or anything. But it's still ridiculously cheap. So I should probably explain the appeal of having an e-reader in the first place, because like, why would you want this, okay? Why do you even need this device? Well, it's been like a total game changer for me. It's like carrying an entire library in your pocket. It's super portable. It looks cool because you pretty much have like a new page that appears whenever you tap the screen because of the e-ink technology, which by the way, e-ink is legitimately the coolest technology to have blown up in recent years. It beats GPT by a long shot. And the best part about these for me is that they make it really convenient to do something that is actually productive and conducive to your life, as opposed to doom scrolling and just sitting on your phone and watching YouTube for 25 hours a day. Like, come on. The ease of picking up your phone and distracting yourself can be matched almost completely by an e-reader, depending on how much you carry it around. So if you're carrying it inside your bag, or if you have massive pockets and you carry one of these around with you, you can get the same amount of convenience by just picking this up and reading the book rather than going on Instagram or anything like that. And it's 10 times more beneficial for you. At least it has been in my experience. If you're interested in like importing and spending more money, there's even e-readers that you can get that fit inside of your phone and are like one-to-one in terms of ease of use and convenience, just like your phone. And the difference is you're reading books and it's way less harsh on the eyes, which we'll get into in a minute. So now we have like a basic description of the appeal of it. Now I want to show you how they work. This is going to be really simple and basic and not very in-depth. But essentially, e-readers use a technology called e-ink, which mimics the look of real paper. As you can see, this has no backlight, so if I cover this up with a shadow, nothing's gonna happen, okay? Like, if you're in the dark, you're not gonna be able to read this. It's just like a real book. E-ink displays are easy on the eyes because, you're not getting blue light blast into your retinas at the speed of light. They're useful in sunlight, and they consume very little battery. At one point, I actually used an iPad to read ebooks, and it's just really overkill. It's more harsh on your eyes no matter how much you restrict the brightness, and it dies way faster than any e-reader. Now, of course, Apple's improved this with their devices a lot, but you're not going to be able to match month-long battery life that you get with one of these. Which, to that point, let me go ahead and explain more. E-readers last for weeks on a single charge depending on how much you read. Chances are you're going to get, like, even if you read just all day, you're still going to get over like 2 or 3 weeks of battery life. With my usage of my decade-old Kindle, this thing literally came out 12 years ago. It has no battery replacements as far as I know. And I still get a little over a month of battery life with light usage, and maybe 3 to 4 weeks if I'm using this a lot. Now, here's my like little personal experience with my e-reader. They can be a little pricey, but like I said, I got mine for $24.30, or the actual price of it was around $16 without shipping and tax. So super cheap, especially for a working piece of technology with a touchscreen that isn't from Temu. Oh my God, it's 11:27? God, I'm going to bed late again. All right, so I'm going to show my e-reader in full now. This is mine. It's a 4th generation Kindle Touch. Now, it came out in like 2012, so it's essentially ancient. But I still think that this is a good pickup for $16. And at that, it's the higher spec model. This is the Kindle Touch. The regular Kindle, like 4th gen model is still pretty useful though. It just has buttons, which I don't really think that makes much of a difference. At the end of the day, you're just reading books on it. So if you can find that for cheaper, still might be worth the pickup. I have no real gripes with the software besides from the Amazon bloat, which I just got rid of by logging out and not connecting this thing to the internet whatsoever. I just load books straight from my computer. One thing I found a bit weird is that since this is an older Kindle, Amazon used a proprietary ebook format, which is called .movie, which I don't know why. But I haven't had any issues finding books in that format to begin with. I haven't had any issues finding books in that format besides from a couple of books. And for those books, which also come in the regular, non-proprietary, and much better file format called .epub, I could just convert it to a MOBI file using Calibra, which is a program that you're going to want to download, and I'll explain later in this video. I initially tried to jailbreak this thing as well, but when I bought it off eBay and it came, the version on it was already too high to do it. So if you're counting on like getting like an old Kindle and jailbreaking it, just no. It works well, it runs well, and it's in really good condition. There's pretty much like very minimal scratches on it. It smelled a little weird when I got it. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It was like sugary cigarettes. So I cleaned it really well, and I bought a new case for it for like 15 bucks. Like, look at this. It even comes with a stand. I mean, like, it's peak engineering. Now, I'm going to make a disclaimer real quick that I have a Kindle, but you do not need to buy a Kindle as well. In fact, if you are able to find a cheap e-reader from another brand that, does work well and everything, I would probably go with that over a Kindle. Because when you're buying a Kindle, you're going to be dealing with Amazon's proprietary stuff with their weird file formats and the fact that if you take it off the internet, you're pretty much taking away half the features. Luckily, all I care about is just reading books, but if you care about anything more than that, either use Amazon stuff or find a third party that will allow you to just download your EPUB files normally. I believe newer Kindles do allow you to download EPUB files and, read them, but here's the unfortunate thing. We're talking about like $15 to $30 e-readers here. You're not finding any sort of newer Kindle here unless it's completely and utterly destroyed. That being said, the Kindles are the most popular e-reader brand as far as I can tell. So if you can find a good condition Kindle, I would probably just go with that. Don't pass up on the deal. It might be gone tomorrow. I've had way too many times where I've passed up on deals on eBay and just completely missed out and sold on the deal. All right, it's getting too late. Quick close switch. Not much of a change, but it's the next day. We time travel. Let's keep on going. I'm going to show you how you can get an e-reader that's nice and cheap too. Number one, check secondhand marketplaces. Now you can do eBay, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. Just look up e-reader for now on any of those platforms. Plain and simple. Change your price range to be between $14 and $30. This will show you a lot of the cheap e-readers while also cutting out a lot of the broken listings and that sort of thing. The e-readers that are completely destroyed or for parts and repair or anything like that. On that note, you could buy one and repair it, but I didn't want to go through all of that for such a cheap and inexpensive and old e-reader. I mean, if you repair it, you might be paying the cost of the e-reader just to get a battery. In any case, if you decide to buy an old working e-reader or to repair an existing broken one, you're still recycling old technology and not letting it hit that trash island in the middle of nowhere or some random e-waste dump that just one shot insta-kills any sort of environment or living being within a 5 to 10 mile radius. Tip number 2, search for older models. They still work great for reading since an e-reader is a pretty simple device after all. It's just like a calculator. You can get an old calculator or an old camera or something like that, and even if it doesn't have the latest and greatest features, it's still gonna do what you need it to do. Perfectly fine. And let's be real, you don't need the fanciest one either just to read books. If you're expecting Wi-Fi 6 support or full color e-ink displays, which do exist by the way, this video probably isn't for you. And you don't need Wi-Fi 6 or anything like that to download a 500 kilobyte file. And if you have that sort of money, trust me, you are not going to want to get one of these e-readers. You want to get one of those newer ones. My third tip is to look for listings that have minor cosmetic damage. Now, this may seem a little counterintuitive. Why would I want to buy something that looks worse? Well, these often are heavily discounted while being fully functional. Mine is not exactly perfect on the back. I mean, it's pretty well. It looks pretty good, but like there's like these like weird stain marks that have been left from the old case that was on it. And there's an old screen protector on here, which is bubbling up for some strange reason. But, I barely notice it, so it doesn't matter. If it's got a few scratches, that's like a non-issue. It actually plays to your advantage because it's cheaper and you can just cover it up with a case or something like that. Same as your phone. My fourth thing is be patient. Wait for price drops, set alerts for it and stuff like that. And look for new listings all the time. Don't be afraid of auctions either, especially with eBay, all right? You can score a cheap deal on occasion. A lot of my old classic ThinkPads, which I will be making a video on, I got them through auctions. A lot of my old technology, stuff like that, comes a lot cheaper sometimes with auctions. They're broken on occasion, but when we're talking technology this old, there's not gonna be any bots betting on this. What are you gonna resell this for? You got it for like $30. That's a restaurant meal. All right, so by now I'm assuming that, you've gotten your e-reader and you wanna actually start reading books on it now and making it useful, because you spent $30 on it and you desperately need to make up the money for this purchase. Otherwise, you just wasted $30. Money's not just falling off of trees. Well, what you're gonna wanna do is download Calibre before you even get it, while it's still in shipping. Calibre is essentially a manager for everything that's on your e-reader. It'll transfer files you download onto your computer to your e-reader easily, converts files for you, modifies those files. It even allows you to read the books themselves on your computer. If you get down like that, more power to you, but it's probably just for quickly reading whether changes to the file came out right. It's completely free and open source, and no, I'm not being paid to promote it. It's just peak software. Given that I have my Kindle completely disconnected from the internet and everything, Calibre just makes it a lot faster to put files onto this thing and be able to just go ahead and read. It's like plug and play pretty much. I plug into my laptop, I transfer the files over, I disconnect it, and then I'm off to read. Even if you have it connected to the internet and everything, side-loading books or anything like that is still gonna be much easier using this program versus getting into your file explorer, transferring the files to and from. It's like having a mod manager for your game versus using the file explorer. Way easier, way faster, and just peak. Seriously. All right, I need to stop using that word now. All right, so my sixth and final tip is assuming that you've gotten your e-reader, you've got Calibre set up, you have everything ready. Now it's time to get some books and start reading. Oh my gosh! Are you ready to read? Oh, okay. But seriously, now you can search online for websites to download books from. There's a lot of places where you can get books completely for free to download onto whatever e-reader that you have. My personal suggestion is Project Gutenberg, which hosts a ton of public domain books. Okay, these are books that are already legally cleared, the copyright, you don't have to worry about all that stuff, or, committing 50 million crimes and having the NSA directly staring through your laptop webcam or something like that. No, you'll be completely fine. These are really old books, but they're good books. I recently just got Marcus Aurelius's Meditations on mine, which, is made by that really cool Roman emperor guy who, he did really cool things and he lived a really cool life and he was really self-disciplined. Yeah, you should also read it. It would change your life. You also might be able to hook up your library card through Libby or something like that, depending on the type of e-reader that you have. My Kindle allows me to hook up a Libby card to it and basically just use my library card digitally and download books straight onto there. Now, obviously, it's only for the time that I borrowed it, so once I stop borrowing it, that book is, poof, gone off of my e-reader, but it's nice while it lasts. You will have to sign into your Amazon account or something like that to do it. I'm not sure about other e-readers having this sort of functionality, but something to consider. And even then, you can still just buy ebooks. Some of them even run Android, so you can just buy something off Google Play Books and call it a day. Depending on the kind of books that you're looking for, you don't have to spend a gazillion dollars just to read. If you're like me and you're just trying to break a bad relationship with technology, you'll find tons of stuff online for free or for a very cheap cost. What I'm showing you right now is a really good book made by the Steve Jobs Archive. It's essentially just a collection of Steve Jobs' old quotes, emails, that sort of thing. It's really helped me lay the foundation for some of the stuff that I show on this channel, and it's just a really enjoyable read. Completely for free as well. So take your time, look around all through the internet, scour around, just don't stay on the little mainstream little parts. Go out to some random websites and you will find something to read. something that can take you to a whole nother world through the like electronic pages of your e-reader. Yeah. All right, so all in all, ebooks are crazy good for reading. They're super portable and they're like cool, like in terms of a tech standpoint, you know? And the best part is that you don't have to spend a lot of money to get one of these. I mean, seriously, compared to all the other technology that you can get, these things are dirt cheap. $30, $16, something like that. This calculator cost to be $120. It's a TI-84, so I had no choice but to get this calculator. But still, if you're looking for a more budget-friendly way to start reading more and to find something productive to do with your time, then, you know, get yourself an e-reader. It'll help you take control over your life. It makes your habit of picking up your phone and scrolling into a habit of picking up and scrolling through virtual pages and reading and exercising your brain. Only one of those is going to be benefiting you 99% of the time. Just saying. And also, it may not seem like the biggest deal, depending on how much of an environmentalist, I guess, you are. But you're reusing old technology, which feels good on your conscience, and it costs way less than buying anything new, by the way. That's all I've got to say, though. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys read? I need suggestions, like, genuinely. I need more stuff to download. All right, I'm reading through Ija Yoshikawa's Musashi right now because I read Vagabond, and I really love that manga. And I don't know what else to read, you know? Still getting through Meditations, and I just finished reading the Ecotopia. Really interesting read. A lot of interesting books that I've been reading lately. If you guys have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful or entertaining or anything like that. This is a pretty new channel. I'm just making whatever I like. So if you're interested, come along for the ride. That's really all I have, though. Get you an e-reader. I'll see you later.